It's Tuesday night, Marnie. KHOP88 is on the air. I just posted this in Facebook, but we're joined by Hopkins High School's two preeminent guitar shredders tonight.
It's him.
From South Lake, Texas, Jesse Lehman, and from Eric, you're where?
Bloomington, Minnesota still.
Bloomington, Minnesota. Eric Krathochvil. Great to have you guys with us tonight. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Jason.
Yeah, very good. Very good to see you.
Marnie, before we begin the interview, Marnie has news.
What's my news?
You were sharing it with me before we went on the air. You're about to start a new...
My job?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really excited. I got a job. I'm going to be starting to work at Legal Aid to help people fight evictions. But the bigger news is the weather news. We have blue sky today, and we only have to go out with our pandemic masks because we've been going out with two masks, the smoke mask and the pandemic mask.
And where are you?
Smoke is okay.
Sure. So I live an hour north of San Francisco.
Okay.
And I have not been to Minnesota for a very long time, but I'm so grateful that the two of you are here because I just have good memories of listening to your music.
Oh, I remember you, Marnie, from way back too. Absolutely.
So we should start actually by reminding people who didn't know this that Marnie lives near our reclusive class president, David Book. Book, of course, played, you guys are going to have to remind me, we're going to go through some bands here. We will have to remember the names of these bands.
Sure.
But Book played in a band, at least with you, Eric, and maybe with you, Jesse, as well. But did you communicated with him. He remembers Eric, which is not true for many of the members of our class. And did he have a question for Eric, or did he have a remark? Did he have anything to bring up for this show?
So I live near Dave, and I recently picked plums at his house, and I am still in the process of recruiting him to the show.
Very good. Yes, make that happen.
That.
Eric, what was the name of that band that you and Book were in, and a cast of many others?
Well, our big claim to fame during high school was the band Mulch.
Mulch, right. That's right.
Mulch, yes. So it was me, Dave Book, Toby Carroll on drums, Randy Kramer kind of in and out on drums.
That's right.
Steve Murray was playing bass. And, of course, Jennifer Goforth was doing some vocals.
Yeah.
Mulch.
So that was the the Mulch lineup.
I remember it. I remember my picture of Mulch is on the stage. We've talked about music on this show a lot, and early parts of high school, sophomore, junior, senior year, most of our dances were professional bands. But by senior year, there were so many good student bands. I remember seeing Mulch on the stage in the gym, like the big stage.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been some big dance that you guys played.
Wow, I don't even remember that.
It's okay.
I remember playing in the cafeteria one time for a dance.
So
I don't know what it was, though.
Jesse, now detail for us the band, the bands that you were in.
Oh, gee. In high school, I think it was called Cornbread, something like that. And we had Bob Gunn on vocals, Russ Moser on bass. And I haven't seen or heard of Russ for a very long time. Chris Ewis was playing keyboards. And, of course, the always fantastic Peter Rich on drums. So
the great Peter Rich.
The great Peter Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Jesse, were you also in the Todd Ames Blues Band and Review?
I was not. That was Bill Hobbs. Bill played bass in that band. And, we had a band rivalry kind of going on, all of us. It was good. There was good competition. It kind of...
absolutely.
It was good. I always enjoyed it.
The Todd Ames Blues Band. I'll never forget at the talent show, Todd Ames came out and all he said was, "I'm Todd Ames, and this is my band." And then the
That was
band
awesome.
kicked in. I'll never forget that. And then Sam Siegelman dressed as well. I don't know if I can go into it here on the show, but
Oh yeah, do it. Come on.
It's true. Sam denies any knowledge of this, but we all know better.
Well, I'm sure a lot of it's seared into many of our memories. I just remember shirtless, tape on the nipples, and shorts.
Wow.
And he was kind of the band's mascot. Yes.
I don't remember the name of that
didn't play
band. Yeah, I don't remember the name of Sam's band, but I know Sam was nominally in it.
Was it a one-man
Jim
band?
Orndorff, I believe, was also in it. I don't remember who else.
Oh,
Dave Booth was in that too.
Hey, the other good band was with Stuart
Stu,
Lindsay.
yeah.
I mean, because they played that Comfortably Numb when we were in 10th grade in the theater, and it was like mind-blowing. Do you remember that? Oh my God. Yeah,
Stu's band. I'm trying to think who played with him then too.
Oh, it was older guys. I think it was like some juniors or seniors when we were in 10th grade maybe. So
Oh gosh.
I can't remember their names.
So before you joined Eric, Jesse told us that you're the reason why he even took up guitar in the first place.
You
So
remember that?
this would be West Junior High days. You guys want to take it from there?
Kinda. I mean, I remember because me and Jesse were we were real good friends way early junior high. I remember I used to bike over to his house in Hopkins and we go fishing. We didn't have driver's license, you know, so it was just biking around. So that's how old we were. Yeah, and as we got a little older, I started playing guitar first. Yep. And I remember, I think Jesse was a pretty outgoing guy, you know, and at one point I think he was like, I can do that just as good, if not better, you know. And this is my perception anyways. And got a guitar and started playing and started his own band, you know, and all of a sudden he was, you know, a thing. And I remember in high school, somebody said, yeah, Jesse's band's playing at this house party in some basement. It was just north of like Excelsior Boulevard. Let me let my phone ring here. Back to it. So it was just some house party north of Excelsior Boulevard there. And I thought, well, I'll go check out what Jesse's doing here with his guitar playing and all that, see what he's like. And I went down in the basement and it blew me away. He was playing some like Clapton-style blues stuff. You know, that's kind of what you guys did, you know, and Allman Brothers and stuff. And you just were ripping it up. I was like, holy cow, you know, and there's a big crowd around you. And I was like, wow, all right, well, that's a thing. Well, so that's kind of my memory of that.
Do you remember Mike Elliott playing with Toby and those guys? It was the first time I saw, and it was at Toby's house.
Yeah.
And we were probably in 8th grade. And Mike did Almost Cut My Hair by CSNY. And he just ripped it up. And I you know, he was like Yoda for guitar players. I mean, I'm sitting there going, oh my God.
I think Mike was to me maybe what I was to you, because I saw him play and I'm like, oh my God, you know, wow, you can do that. And I'm going to try and do that.
I recall there being at West Junior High, I recall there being a lot of mostly classic rock, but a lot of music knowledge among guys in our grade and girls as well in our grade. A lot of kids, like, I mean, classic rock was on the rise at that point, and people just knew we knew every song, we knew every, you know, musician in every band. And so, yeah, like you were saying, Eric and Jesse, like if you would show up at some place and a kid our age was like playing a song that you had been hearing on KQ or whatever, like that was arresting, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So how much time was involved sitting in your bedroom learning these songs and not maybe doing homework or whatever else?
Oh, I was still doing homework, Jason, but
of course.
No, it was, I don't know, Eric, how much you were practicing, but I was getting up at 5 in the morning, playing about 2 hours before school. And then when you would get home, you'd play another 2 to 3 and then go to band practice. So it was a lot of work for me. I don't know, maybe it was easier for you.
I don't remember. I think I started playing when I was probably like 12, 13, right before junior high.
Okay.
I was taking private lessons from a guy named Craig Anderson, and he was real good. So I don't honestly remember practicing at all. I'm sure I must have played all the time, but
wow.
You know, Toby's basement was kind of a hub, and my basement became a hub too for jams. So it was a more not so much playing on my own, but a lot of having people over and playing, you know, in these kind of throw together groups.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we always need to take a moment to welcome everyone who's joining us on Facebook. We've got, I'll just read off a couple of remarks that we've got. We've got a good, diverse group here. Rick Marker weighs in with Jesse Rules. Jim Sexton contributes this. Jesse was a very confident young man. Both you guys were exceptional guitarists at a young age. Maren Carlson sends her greetings. Vanita Patil sends her greetings, and Tony Ceruno as well. So.
Oh, great. Hey, guys.
Got a good crowd out there.
Awesome.
So, do you still play the guitar?
I do.
Go ahead, Jesse. You go first.
Yeah, no, I've built up my collection, so I've got quite a few. You know, I've got the electrics that I thought were cool. So I've got an older Strat, an older Telecaster, and a Les Paul Custom. And I sit down and play. I've got my old setup from right after high school. So I've got a Marshall half stack with the Roland Jazz Chorus 120 head. Eric,
didn't I blow that up at a show once?
You might have, but I fixed it, and it doesn't, it's working great. I'll stereo jazz chorus, and then I've got a couple of rack effects with a 2-driver, a graphic equalizer, and a digital delay, and it's all 80s retro. So I'll plug that in every once in a while and just go crazy. And during the pandemic, you could hear people in the neighborhood would have a band come over and play in their backyard for entertainment for some of the neighbors. So if I heard that, I would open the windows in my den and I'd turn it up to 11 and, start playing along with them. And then it would be silent, dead silent out there. It was great. So.
And Eric, you're in a band, last 6 months notwithstanding, you're in a band that performs all over Minnesota at this point, right?
Wow. Yeah, I never stopped, so I just kind of kept going and going. My current band right now, we're called Rhino, and we're a cover band. RhinoTheBand.com is where you find us. So anything Rhino the Band, you'll find us. Rhino is about 17 years old. We were doing about 6 to 8 plus shows a month.
Wow.
So we would do the club dates, casino dates, we did private parties, we do weddings, and in the summer we get to do all the we transitioned kind of to a festival band, so all the local county fairs, state fair, any drunken street dance that's within a 2-hour radius of Minneapolis. Awesome. That kind of stuff. So yeah, pretty much kind of turned it into it is a business. It's a band I own and run, and we work with a booking agent, and it's pretty much what I do until mid-March, kind of shut everything down. And we still managed to get a lot of shows in. We kind of pivoted, and now we're doing a lot of patio shows and that kind of stuff where we can be outside and there could just be a few people and everybody can kind of social distance. And there's a lot of that happening around here this summer, but that's going to end, and the clubs sure aren't doing much here, and kind of that's where the business sits right now.
Well, I wanted to read some more comments, but first say just personally, I'm so happy to have you here because one of the things I took away from high school as someone who wasn't a musician is how much I love music. And it's in part thanks to all of you and your bands. And I really take it with me in my whole life. But back to the comments. Chris Camp Glazer, Rhino rocks. Gary Donovan Wolter, Rhino rules. Chuck Giostra, Jupiter Access. I know what that means. And then Rick Marker has a question for you, Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse, tell the story of when you told that young lady from Tonka that you wrote Jesse's Girl.
I don't remember ever doing that. That's, gee whiz. No, my wife likes that song a whole lot, but.
You don't remember. It's
No, Rick, I don't know.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Is she the girl that lives? No, I'm just going to leave it.
recording.
Yeah, I think that, and we've visited this topic before on other shows, but like just when I share the fact that whenever a suburbs song comes on anywhere, I point out the fact that like, oh, they played our homecoming, like
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and so somewhere along the line at Hopkins High School, somebody established this tradition that big dances had live music, like not a DJ.
He did.
Right.
I mean, it started before we were in high school, I think. But then again, when we transitioned from hiring in these outside, and we had great, not just the suburbs, the Wallets, and I remember also seeing Ipso Facto. They were the biggest reggae band in the city.
I remember that.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we didn't even miss a beat when we started programming student bands to play, but it was just live music was a thing. And I know you guys were competitive, so explain that a little bit. It wasn't like, to my eyes, it wasn't negatively competitive. It was musicians really pushed each other to be better.
Yeah.
I think it's funny now that I'm, the age we're all at here, and, a lot of the local bands in the area here, it's that same thing. We all never grew up. So it's almost that same rivalry Rhino has with, some of the other bands in our circuit, and what that is we kind of all watch each other. We borrow from each other, what works and what doesn't. If someone's out there, doing something that's, that's given us, some energy, we're going to kind of feed off that and kind of take that and run with that and try and incorporate that into what we're doing as well. And I think that's what was going on back in high school as well.
Yeah, I think so. And you go to a show and you see a guy play and wow, it made you work a little harder, so watching you and, Stu and Elliot, when he was playing, oh my God, you were like, holy Lord, I got to go home and do some work on this. So,
So
you should get sharing. You should try and get Mike Elliott to come on here too and talk about.
We'll get Mike.
His music.
Yeah.
So Jesse, you were telling us earlier about a little bit about the adventure with Jupiter's Access. That right? Jupiter's Access is the band.
Yeah, it was, and it's funny.
How did that band come together? Who is this? Were any other Hopkins people?
Yeah, after high school, I decided, I'm not going to go to college yet. I'm going to spend 3 years, and I put a time limit on it before I go. And I recruited Pete Rich, and then I got a guy he was from Burnsville named Dave Stone. And Dave is a bass player and he's fantastic. Later, I got a guy named Jeremy Yelvasacker to play with us as well. And he plays with Andrew Bird. He plays guitar with Andrew and tours with Andrew and has written some of the albums with him. And he's fantastic. But he came a little bit later. And then we got this singer named Dave Larson, and Dave plays with a band that does a lot of, cover stuff. And he's from Maple Grove, but just an incredible singer. And we ended up writing a bunch of stuff. I wrote like a song a day. And then I collaborated with Jason Malik on a song. And he was a force of creativity. He was incredible.
He was a very good artist. Yep.
Oh, loved him. And he just, he brought in a song, and it was kind of a parts of things, and we started working on it together, got it kind of to where we liked it. And then this producer had seen us at a show, and we rewrote the lyrics. So it was kind of a three-way work session on it to make it what it was. But we ended up recording that at Paisley, along with a few other songs in 1989. And that was pretty cool because we were out there and Prince was there doing the Batman soundtrack, and he was dating Kim Basinger at the time. And it was kind of wild. I mean, there was some fun stuff that, you bear witness to, but don't really talk too much about. And,
I was with Daryl Hannah and Neil Young.
Ooh. See, Neil Young is a guy.
Neil Young.
I love Neil Young. Yep. I'm going to be crying the day he goes.
Okay, but a little bit about Paisley Parker. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. So a couple of things. So I saw Prince play basketball. I saw him dunk in high heels. Okay. It wasn't even real. It was like, oh my God. Okay. But I was playing, he invited us to do some stuff in his personal studio, which was Studio B out there. And he had all of his equipment in there. Eric, you would have loved this, man. All those guitars that are custom made. And he had a great little Fender Princeton amp, one of those 10-watt amps. And he let me use that on the stuff that we ended up recording. And it was really cool of him to do. But he sat in the control room and, watched us do some stuff. And Pete Rich was out there with us, obviously. So it was a lot of fun. Got a few songs still, and I actually threw something out on Spotify about 2 weeks ago that are just a bunch of 1989 recordings, and it's called Jupiter Access Echoes from the Past. So was a lot of fun, but yeah, good times.
So Jesse, so we can listen to your music on Spotify, Jupiter Access. How about you, Eric? How do we listen to your music online?
Well, boy, there again, go to our website. We're a cover band. I've been playing Green Day here for money for the last 20 years. So we've got videos, we've got audio, we've got all that stuff, and that's all at rhinotheband.com.
Just check.
There again, anything Rhino the Band will all feed. We've got a big Facebook page, we've got the website, we've got live videos and links and all that stuff.
Okay,
I've seen a video of Rhino doing some, tell me if you still do this, but it's some sort of choreographed drumming thing where everybody in the band participates. Is that a staple of a Rhino show?
Yes, that is one of our claims to fame there is we do the drum routine. So yeah, we basically line up 5 floor toms and we do like a drum line type routine.
Sweet.
And we've been doing that for years and years too. And it evolves, it changes. Our drummer kind of leads it, but each band member comes in and then we do a couple easy things for flash, and beat on the drums. But yes, that is a thing.
That's awesome.
We have a question for you, Eric. Well, we have 2 questions for you, Eric. Ready? From Jim Sexton, favorite Dust Bunny memories? And then from Chuck Giastra, have you ever played a show with Rough House Rocks?
I've heard the name Rough House. So I know that name. I don't think I've ever done a show with them. But gosh, yeah, the Dust Bunnies, that was a whole nother thing.
What are they?
What was that?
What's a Dust Bunny? I don't know.
They're under
You
your
don't
bed.
know. Well, after that was in the mid-90s, about 95 through 98. We were kind of a big fish in a small pond around here for a while. We did some national touring. We put out a couple CDs. I played on one CD. Yeah, so we would we were doing pretty well. We had some kind of like, boy, I mean, there's so many stories there that with the Dust Bunnies, but we did a lot of gigging too, is the bottom line. And
Okay,
we
let me
played a
help
lot of
you.
places.
So I'm interested. So you were on a national tour with a band called Dust Bunnies. Like,
Marnie, you were on vacation the week that Dave Green was on the show.
oh, I missed that one.
The Dust Bunnies
Yes.
were, Dave was in that band, Jennifer Goforth and Julie Wrighton, and Steve Murray, right?
Correct.
And Eric for a time, and there was some shuffling members. And
Yeah, I was actually, Dave took my place. I was there from about 94 till about 97, 98.
Okay.
And then Dave was there from like, I think 97, 98. I think Dave maybe did a couple years with him at the end there. And then the whole thing imploded in a huge sordid story that
I know.
very sordid.
It's a band thing, you know?
But I guess my favorite memory, I mean, because it was cool. I mean, we'd play the Fine Line, which is hold 400 or 500 people in downtown Minneapolis, and we'd pack the place. So I think my best memory from the Dust Bunnies was we ended the show and we went. There's kind of a downstairs dressing room. You'd go downstairs, and we went down there, and the crowd was stomping and pounding on the floor for an encore.
Awesome.
And they wouldn't stop. So we said, we're like, man, should we go back up? I mean, we're supposed to be done, and should we go back? And they wouldn't stop. And we're like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I remember me and Jennifer Goforth, we got to the top of the stairs to go back on stage, and this crowd, 400 or 500 people still going nuts. And I said, Jen was in front of me. I said, Jen, you ready? She's like, no, give it one more minute. And we stood there and we just let him scream and shout. And then she's like, all right, let's go. And then we went out and did one more song. So that's
cool.
One fond memory from the Dust Bunny days.
That is cool.
That's great. We'll have to have Jen and Julie on maybe together, and we can talk about
that would be
just because I heard of like friends of my parents whose son had like a weird crush on those women, and was like, yeah, he goes to every concert there. So I don't want to know about any of this. There's somebody I know who's stalking the Dust Bunnies. I better not have any knowledge of it.
Yeah, we were definitely what you would call a chick band. So we had the two girls were up front. So we had a lot of guys not really paying a lot of attention to us and doing a lot of staring at the two girls.
That's great. All right, so we let's see here. We're good on comments. Jesse you were filling us in on your life in Texas. I think you might be the first Texas guest on the show.
Yes.
Wow.
And you were saying that your son is prepared to full on Friday Night Lights Texas high school football this fall. You care to share any of your adventures?
Sure.
And that, I mean, football is not like a pastime in Texas. It's more accurately defined as a religion, right?
There's nothing like it. I've never seen anything like it. It's a spectacle. Our high school stadium holds 12,000 people, and it's as big as a lot of smaller college stadiums. Our high school is called the South Lake Carroll Dragons, and we have the most state high school football championships in the state of Texas. Okay, so that is saying something here. And there's a lot of guys who have gone to the NFL from this school. It's crazy. I mean, it's been amazing to see. It's a spectacle on a Friday night. The whole town, the whole city will show up for this thing. And, when you're that good, I mean, it's an incredible thing to see. But I've got 3 kids. My oldest is 22. He's doing a finance degree at Arkansas. He's going to finish up this year in May. My daughter is doing a business degree at the University of North Texas. She's 19. And then my youngest son is 15. He's a freshman, and he's a little beast. And he's a great running back. So we're all geared up and ready to go. He's got first true scrimmage on Thursday, and then the season starts a week from Friday. So it'll be pretty cool to see. We're all, jazzed up for that.
Well, Eric, I don't know about your family, but I see that you have cats.
They're floating around in the background, aren't they?
I see at least 2. Are you a crazy cat man like me?
Well, I'll deny it, but yeah, someone probably call me that. Yeah, we just got the 2, but yes, we've got the cats.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is usually skulking around in here for the show, but he's not. He's not
I have
available
4
tonight.
cats. It's a
Oh,
lot.
Wow.
Wow. I've got a dog. I've got a dog, and she would probably eat the cats for, fun. She's a little Wheaten Terrier, only a 40-pounder, but she's vicious. She's very, very territorial. So
Out punches her weight class. That's great.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we often ask whether you guys have any questions or observations or comments for each other. At this point, being old friends, maybe don't get a chance to talk to each other very often anymore.
Do you have
I put you on the spot.
No, it's cool. Jesse, you kind of answered some of my questions. I didn't even know you were down in Texas, so that's pretty cool. Got out of the frozen tundra here and down there, and yeah, and wondering about family too. It sounds like you got some kids and some older kids. I kind of knew that, I think, though. But it's good to hear you're doing great down there.
Yeah, it's a fun place to be. We've moved around a few times for work, and it's good. I know we saw each other. God, it must have been in the early 2000s at Best Buy one time.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Boy, no.
You were in there for something. And I was doing the music department at that time, working there in the corporate office, and we had Nelly Furtado in a conference room, and I think you happened to walk by for something you were there for, and I was like, holy crap, Eric, how are you doing?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And I think we talked a little bit, whatever high school reunion I went to. You were at, oh God, I think that was the 25th maybe, or 20th? 20th.
20th, yes.
Okay.
Calhoun
Right.
Club.
Yes. Calhoun Club, right? Yes.
I remember talking to you there.
You guys got to bring your guitars. I mean, I have not gotten involved in planning any of these reunions, and I've only been to one because I have my own issues with mosquitoes. But I think we need one with like guitars and drums and microphones.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
I think we should. I think we got to get Mike Elliott on stage, though. That would be the kicker, because he would carry the show.
This Svedgali Mike Elliott, yeah, we're all kind of wondering how much playing he's doing these days.
Who knows? But God, he'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck Giostra may have filled in the blank here. He said that, Jesse, you killed it at Dave Hemack's house party. There's another blast from the past. Dave Hemack.
Oh my God, yeah, Dave Hemack. I can remember a few things very, very vividly from that party, actually, and I'm not going to talk about them at all. But
we're recording.
It was that was a good one, actually. Yeah.
Jesse, you literally used to play until your hands bled, and I remember you had like a white Strat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You used to get blood all over it, so it was like, wow,
really?
all right, well that's a show.
Yeah, we played at a house party down at the U, and I remember you guys were there, and I remember bleeding all over that guitar. It just, the skin on your hand, on your knuckles kind of rips off, and boom, so trying to pull a little Pete Townsend,
Not supposed to bleed though, yeah.
No, not that's right.
Well, Michael Sparky Claphake is here, and he said, good to see you guys. Been a long time. And Pam Kropp Anderson is here, and she said she was at the Fine Line to see Dust Bunny. So confirmed fan from the class there.
Yes.
Marnie, we have a good show coming up next week, and we've just heard a confirmation on this show.
Oh, yes. Well, I just want to say we are so grateful to Eric and Jesse. Thank you so much. And going out of your comfort zones, coming on Zoom with us. and being out there. We're so grateful. Next week, we have Dr. Mark Mingy and just confirmed Chuck Giostra.
Oh, great.
There we
The
go.
crime boss.
The crime boss. That's exactly right.
Joined us as a spectator tonight. So
Is he going to wear one of those big purple coats or whatever? Like that,
you may remember how he got that nickname. He wore that. We'll revisit this. Yeah, he had that big double-breasted wool coat that he wore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
We'll get into it.
Well,
And the Rarups, of course, were supposed to join us tonight, Eric Rarup and Elise.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And Eric had a meeting. So he begged
yeah.
off for the lamest of reasons, but work calls. You got to do what you got to do. So we're working with him and Elise to reschedule.
So thank you guys so much. So this is on Facebook. If anyone misses it, anyone in your family, it will be on YouTube. We are so grateful, and I'm glad you shared where we can listen to your music, because you really have transformed my life, both of you, and all of the music in high school. So I'm really grateful, and I'm not trying to be sentimental.
Well, thank you. Yeah, good. Yeah, good to see all you guys. And thank you so much for putting this together and doing the work to make this happen.
You are welcome. Okay. Be safe, everyone.
Yeah, be safe. We'll see you guys, and we'll see Mark and Chuck next Tuesday. Jesse and Eric, great to see you.
You guys are
Take care.
awesome.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye now.
Take care.